Examining Leadership, A Personal Philosophy by Nicole Cruz. First, we will discuss how my early leadership theories developed, and then take a look at the personal definition of leadership that I outlined earlier in this course. Next, we will examine why I've chosen adaptive leadership as a component in my revised personal leadership theory, and how the Center for Creative Leadership's DAC model comes into play, and further, how adaptive leadership and the DAC model work cohesively. We then take a look at a plan of action for my personal leadership journey and conclude the presentation. My formative years were spent at a military academy, where a hybridized style of leadership was instilled in me. A combination of individual initiative and group effort became my leadership model for goal achievement for years to come. By virtue of this course, I have come to understand that the leadership model that I have relied upon is better known as a leadership tripod, where the leader, goal, and follower make up the legs of the tripod. When first asked to define my personal leadership philosophy for this course, I harked back to those academy years and chose an image of Amelia Earhart to illustrate my perception of leadership. I felt at the time that as an aviation pioneer and writer, and as the first woman to solo across the Atlantic Ocean and document her journey, she was an excellent leader. It was also clear that she did not accomplish these goals alone. Earhart had a team of navigators, mechanics, flight mentors, public relations experts, sponsors, and many more with whom she worked to make her expeditions happen. Upon reflection, my hybridized definition of leadership, where individual leadership combined with teamwork to achieve a goal makes a tidy story, but it does not come close to examining the complexities of how leadership happens. While the tripod has its merits, it is far too simplistic and less useful in understanding the contexts that are peer-driven and/or collaborative. Enter modern leadership theories, and in particular, adaptive leadership theory. This rapidly emerging theory has helped me formulate my new personal leadership theory that extols the qualities of positive tension, big picture thinking, teamwork, and giving the work back to the people. The new image that I've chosen to illustrate my theory is a group of apiarists tending beehives. Beekeepers, or apiarists, and the structure of bee productivity represent adaptive leadership quite well. An apiarist, as defined by the Canadian Agricultural and Food Administration, helps bees take care of themselves. Apiarists provide hives for shelter, medications, and new queens when necessary. The bees manage to take care of most of their needs, but the apiarists stand on the balcony, observe their work, and yet involve themselves in the process when needed. Apiarists must alleviate the inevitable distress that occurs when a queen is needed, as must any leader intervene when the tools that are needed to succeed are missing, or protection is required. Apiarists must also identify adaptive challenges such as hive repairs, medicines needed, and much more, just the same way leaders must pay attention to challenges within an organization and do their best to remedy them. Disciplined attention is already a part of the nature of the hive, and the attention needed for excellence is already a part of bee life. But apiarists must also pay attention to the hives and not leave them completely to their own devices. Finally, since bees do not need anyone to help them do the work, apiarists have already given the work back to the people, or in this case, the bees. As I move forward in my career, I tend to implement the philosophy of be the beekeeper, be the bee. As a part of the complex hive of a leadership institution, it is imperative that we continue to examine ourselves and others within our organization. We must strive to create a harmonious buzz of tension that takes us to new heights of excellence while maintaining the equilibrium of harmony that mutual existence requires. It sounds esoteric, but it happens in nature, and if the deft hand of humankind has found a way to work with nature via beekeeping, then surely we can implement adaptive leadership to reach other outcomes. When we speak of outcomes, the Center for Creative Leadership's DAC theory of direction, alignment, and commitment comes to mind. The pragmatic and functional outcome-driven ontology of DAC seems to explain how people share work in collectives. It has more integrated potential than the leadership tripod, where the three legs of the tripod stand alone. Each element of DAC flows into the next, in each direction supporting and strengthening every other element, like a wave. The new questions by this theory dig deep and both transcend and include the tripod model. Earlier, I used the example of apiarists and bees to illustrate adaptive leadership theory and its 6 principles of adaptive work. Get on the balcony, regulate inevitable distress, identify challenges, maintain disciplined attention, give work back to the people, and protect workers. I see all of these elements working within the DAC model. Direction involves getting on the balcony or the lifeguard stand and see the big picture, and then rejoin the group to come together. Alignment involves creating creative tension, identifying challenges and inevitable distress, and maintaining discipline and organization. Commitment and loyalty come from giving the work back to the people and protecting them. The DAC model puts adaptive leadership into motion and instills a perpetual cycle of reinforcement where direction supports alignment, alignment supports commitment, commitment supports direction, and so on. The leadership goals that I set in my LMBA600 class were to hybridize my role within the Center for Creative Leadership after the first 6 months to include writing along with event production. I'm on track with this goal by standing on the balcony and looking at CCL's big picture needs. I am rejoining the team by reaching out to sales and marketing and my own manager to share these goals and offer my skills and resources. I am managing conflict by aligning my different skills cross-departmentally to create a manageable schedule for myself and the needs of the departments. I am also working on my goal to master change management by offering my time to help reframe how the leadership institution represents itself with sales and marketing materials. My goal is by the end of year 1 with the company to permanently move into sales or marketing, and I plan to achieve that by meeting weekly with members of those departments to see what their needs are. My team lead has agreed to be my mentor in this process and meet with me weekly to give me feedback on my time management, reframing of content, and progress within my department. I'm working on relationship building by participating in group activities, reaching out to help others on my team, and volunteering for jobs. I'm actively reaching out to my colleagues on a weekly basis for coffee, lunch, yoga, or just a walk to build these relationships. I passionately believe the modern leadership theories I have learned in this course will inform both my progression within the company as well as my relationships within the company. In conclusion, you could say that my personal leadership philosophy has come as far as aviation has since the Amelia Earhart era. I have come to count less on the charisma and personal characteristics of leaders and more on the binding strength of relationships when it comes to positive leadership outcomes. I have found strength in setting small weekly or monthly goals to change rather than create large gestures that have immediate impact but not lasting strength. Lastly, I have discovered a marvelous community within the LMBA program where we demonstrate the DAC model weekly with interactions via PackBack, weekly Zoom meetings, a chat room, and one-on-one study sessions. Thank you for your time and consideration in helping me to formulate a new personal leadership theory that has applications throughout the many layers of life's journey. Thank you.